Welcome back to another conversation with the Brothers of Two Complex. As always, we appreciate you for clicking on the video. But before we get into the content, make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button. 95% of y'all watching right now are not subscribed. So please help us get to that 600 number and hit that subscribe button. And as always, hit that notification bell so you miss none of the bangers that we drop every single week. We love y'all. God bless. Shohei Ohtani, right?
Yep.
We got a lot of gambling going on, and gambling has been crazy for a long time now. Honestly, gambling has always been an addiction. It's been going on in casinos, but here recently, you can find bookies. You can do different daily fantasy and gambling and things of that nature. But Shohei Ohtani had an interpreter who apparently was stealing money from him and tried to make it seem like that Shohei was helping a friend who has been around him for a while now, since he's been in the States. So D-Lo, how do you feel about this happening? Like the number one, the effect of gambling that's going on right now, especially we've been talking about gambling and things like that in football and baseball and things going on internally. But how do you feel about everybody, this interpreter having these gambling debts and using Shohei Ohtani to pay him off for him?
So first off, now I don't know if we can completely pin it on the interpreter because the MLB has opened an investigation on the interpreter as well as Shohei. But what have I been saying about sports gambling and all this gambling stuff? Let them, with athletes, let them gamble when they retire, right?
Truth.
And because it takes away, if they retire, I can't talk today. If they are gambling, especially if they're able to gamble on their respective sport, takes away the integrity of the game, because now their reach with other players is like they're within the reach. Like they can say, they can influence other players, and we all know. I've never been a professional player. Sticks, you were in the professional ranks briefly. I know of a ton of professional players, personally, friends, all that. Them boys love to gamble, even when it wasn't like legal to gamble on the sport. They would do it like with other stuff where all right, bro, I'm putting 5,000 on. You can't.
Beach volleyball,
right? Something outside of sports, right? Yeah. We're gonna put $10,000 on this card game on the plane to the next destination. Facts. You know what I mean? So something like them boys love to gamble, and so now that they could bet on sports, I don't know. I think they should let. It just should be they can't gamble on no sports whatsoever until they retire. But being the fact that they can do that, or they're trying to allow them a little bit more freedom and flexibility with gambling, so to speak, maybe not on their sport, you're going to have these type of events happen where they're going to have somebody, and this is an assumption of mine, but you're going to have somebody acting as a surrogate for these athletes to gamble in whatever arena that they want to gamble to. If it's their sport. If it's other sports, so that they won't be able, like, it won't be them specifically, but it's somebody that's tied around them. So it's kind of like getting around it. So I mean,
got you.
I don't think we can let this slide. You know what I mean? I don't think MLB needs to let it slide, especially with Shohei just signing that big contract and then deferring it
to the end,
deferring it until the 10 years after he retires or whatever.
Yep.
So you gonna sign this big ass contract, defer the money, and then somebody around you has a gambling issue, but your name is on a lot of the gambling books
on the books. Your name is on all the paybacks and on the tomatoes, bro. Because so I all I saw initially because the report came through to my phone, it came through to my email, because I subscribed to a couple of things just to try to find topics for the show.
Yeah,
and it came through, and it was just talking about the interpreter. So there
Yep.
has been a report coming out there where they're investigating Shohei for him being a part of this.
Yeah.
Like
So
he was
his
actually
name,
telling, okay,
his name were on a lot of the books.
from the
For the
bookie.
with the
Yeah,
interpreter, right? With the bookie. So they started out investigating just the bookie and the interpreter, and
right.
as of this morning, I saw that the MLB has opened up an investigation, including Shohei in that as well. So they're trying to see, like, was he more involved with this than he's leading on?
Because the Booker's name was Boyer. Where's it at? I know it's somewhere in here. But
I gotta find it again. I briefly saw it.
yeah,
If you just type in his name, it should come up.
his last name was Boyer, but I can't find his first name. But so, damn, that's crazy. So, but he met the bookie through which it was a guy who was the infielder for the Atlanta Braves. His name was David Fletcher. But David Fletcher said that he never introduced the interpreter.
Mathew Bowyer.
Matthew Boyer. Okay, yeah, got you. Matthew
Yeah.
Boyer. So, but damn. So now we're saying that the interpreter, it was blamed on the interpreter, but Shohei Ohtani's name is actually on some of these books, like he's gambling too. But the interpreter was going back and forth with reporters saying that I guess he's just trying to cover up for Shohei. So now you got me thinking, because the interpreter
Now, I'm
was
not
going
saying.
back and forth.
Yeah,
But the interpreter was
Go
going
ahead.
back and forth with the reporters saying that Shohei Ohtani always thought that gambling was bad. Anytime he saw any of his teammates gambling, he was like, yo, why are they doing that? It's so terrible, yada, yada, yada. But maybe he was just covering for his boy, who was trying to make it seem like that Shohei was just helping him out by paying these debts off. But maybe Shohei has something to do with it now. That's crazy. And
Listen,
what were
man,
you about to say?
the wool can always be pulled over our eyes, especially
Facts, bro.
when we think somebody is one way, but they really aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know this to be true. Everything is still coming out, still being put on the table about what actually is going on. But based off what I saw, it started out being that the bookie was being investigated, then the interpreter who was
Mm-hmm.
fired. I didn't mention that they fired him.
No, yeah, they did. Yep.
They fired him. He was investigated, and now all of a sudden, as of this morning, it could have been last night that it was released, but as of this morning, which is March 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
it said that MLB also opened up an investigation on Shohei Ohtani. So take that
That's
for what
great.
it is.
But see, they fired the initial interpreter and brought in a new one. And then the new interpreter was like, yo, like Shohei didn't know anything about this. That's what and the report that I'm reading right now is from, what date is this? March 22nd. So this was yesterday at 4 p.m. So maybe like you said, last night they could have reported, hey, there's an investigation on, nah. But see, I could understand the investigation on Shohei, because all of this money is coming out of his account. Like all the
Right.
money that this guy is reportedly responsible for being in debt to this bookie, $4.5 million. He's responsible to this bookie, and all of this money is being paid back in quote unquote loans on the ledger to the interpreter to pay back the bookie. But now, it's reports saying that Shohei Ohtani's name was on some of these books as well, gambling some of the money. So it won't all just. So I can understand it. Because it does look fishy. Because after I read through it, I was like, something ain't right about this. And the way they spin in this story, it makes it seem like the interpreter was stealing money from Shohei, and he was just taking care of a friend, and the interpreter was kind of like making it seem like something it wasn't. But nah, I can see why they're yeah. I can see that. See that, D-Lo.
I mean, I don't mind people doing gambling and stuff like that. It's not a vice that I take part of. I mean, I do gamble here and there, but like full on fledged gambling is now legal in North Carolina, as well as 37 other states. Almost more than half of the country. Well, not almost. More than half of the country. Yeah, more than half of the country is allowed to sports bet and gamble, and so like we know it's about to take off. ads all over the place. I'm so tired of seeing ads about sports gambling. It's crazy. But honestly, one of my friends said this to me a long time ago. I think I mentioned this on the podcast. Is that like he don't really get into sports anymore like that because of all of the money that's involved in it.
Right.
And I honestly, knowing what I know now or seeing what I see now with the sports gambling, the amount of money that they're putting into ads, it's political season, and I'm seeing more sports gambling ads than politicians ads, which is rare for this time of year. I can see why people say sports is rigged. And I'm not saying that I think sports is rigged or it's scripted. I'm not saying that, but I can understand why it would be interpreted that way now, because
For sure.
it's just crazy. And to wrap that all up, what I was trying to say, what I was getting at is like these cats that are actually active in these sports should not be college and professional, because college is starting to be big business now too, especially with name, image, likeness. Should not be able to gamble on any type of sports whatsoever. When you want to gamble, you do that when you retire. Like I've been saying, it's you sacrifice
or the
something
off season possibly too, or the
no,
off season.
No,
Not even the off season.
No, they
like
should
you
not
can't
be
bet
able to gamble.
if football
Nope.
like right now football is not in,
Nope.
so they can't bet on basketball.
No, I don't think they should, because a lot of these athletes are friends.
Well, yeah, they friends with
athletes.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
To your point, yeah,
so,
you're right. To your point, you're right.
And even it may even be that they can't gamble whatsoever. I don't know how you would regulate that after they retire, though. But because
they still
are
friends with some of these,
friendly,
yeah,
and have some type of influence on athletes that come behind you. But it just ruins the integrity of the game, man. If it comes out like, okay, and I don't want to bring this in, but like the LeBron situation.
Okay.
If it does in fact come out, and I'm still on record
saying
I don't truly don't think it's true.
Nah, me
but
either.
If that does, it ruins that era of basketball. And is that just the tip of the iceberg? You know what I mean?
Facts, bro. Facts.
So it's with everything in life, anything that you do, it's a sacrifice that you make. Like you have to give up something in order to do what you want to do.
Life
like
is about
for a while
and
there, exactly. For a while there, it was with more corporate jobs, you couldn't be involved with. I mean, I don't really know for sure, but people were afraid to do stuff like this on a regular basis.
No,
podcast type
still are
fully
most of them still are.
Yeah, fully flesh out their ideas and their thoughts, their beliefs, and so they gave that up, until they did whatever they want to do. This is the sacrifice you have to make if you want to be a professional athlete, or if you want to be a collegiate athlete at the top tier, just a collegiate athlete in general, because now it's too much money involved with it. And I mean, America is still a great country, but it's going downhill. And they always said when Rome fell, it was because of it's because of the people, the sport and the circus.
Oh, got you.
So what that was, you want to do everything behind, avert the attention of the people. You send them to the Coliseum to watch a sports event, right? And when they're watching that sports event, you doing, as a government, you're doing everything you want to do on the back end, averting their attention somewhere else. That's where a lot of people are saying we're headed right now, because of all of this that's going on. Entertainment, sports,
much stuff,
so on and
so
so
much
forth.
distraction.
You know what I mean?
So much distraction.
Not to get off my pedestal now, but I just think they can't be involved in any off the soapbox. I said pedestal, then I'm sorry. Yeah.
You
off
good.
The soapbox. Yeah. They can't be involved in any type of sports gambling whatsoever until they retire.
I can agree with that. And just like you, it's getting so crazy, man, that you mentioned to me earlier in the week that the Cavs coach was getting death threats now because of this gambling.
Yeah.
People out here gambling. Like, if it's getting that bad, bro, like the where you gambling so much and you so deep in and you probably in debt like the interpreter was, and now you got to put out death threats to coaches because you losing your bets, bro, that's insane. Like, there should be no reason why you're gambling that, but it's a real addiction. It's a real addiction. And I was reading something which we'll get into here in a second about March Madness. It's like March Madness, like gambling has, especially in the month of March, it says March Madness has caused such a spike in gambling in the month of March that it's also the problem gambling awareness month. So now this month is going to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that if you got that much of an issue, bro, like with your gambling, and you know what I'm saying, you in debt that far, like me, I can't afford to gamble like that. I ain't gonna lie to you, because if I lose anything, bro, I am be on my ass. You feel me?
Right.
So I'm not.
Right.
But I want the sports betting to come to Washington in a app capacity, but they will never do it because there's so many casinos here. But it's just so much more convenient. I don't think I would gamble as much as I think I would, because I'm smarter than that. But I don't want it to become. I don't have an addictive personality, so I wouldn't want it to become an addiction. So it's just like, bro, like.
But could you imagine if you did have an addictive personality? The sports gambling is just out of control. Like I said, it just became legal here in North Carolina. I think maybe the beginning of the year it just became legal, and like I said, literally everything you look at, anywhere you look, you can see an ad for some type of sports gambling platform. You want to, look on Instagram, look on YouTube, look on the television. In the mailbox, you getting ads for sports gambling. Look up in the sky. Oh, it's a beautiful day. MGM bets. What?
Plane?
Hey, it's crazy, bro. It's just everywhere.
But you know what's funny though, D-Lo? You know what's funny though, D-Lo? My lady, she know very little about sports. You know what I'm saying? But at her job, they got a March Madness thing where they can win points and things like that. And at the job, we did brackets at my job too. It's friendly competition. But she was hearing in the background like people talk about like sports betting and actually betting live on these games. And even she was like, "It sounds fun. Maybe I should get into it." I was like, No.
Yeah, stay away from it.
I said, no, stay away. I said, baby, stay away from it, because ain't no need to bet on nothing that you know a little about. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Exactly.
I said, I know about sports, and I don't even sports bet. I know you ain't finna do that. No, no, the hell no. But it's just like, bro, like it has so much excitement to it, to the point where people who don't even like really watch sports can be like, "Oh, it's that easy? Like, I can win money just betting $10. I can get 500 on a parlay." Like, it's just so crazy. Like, but to be $4.5 million in debt, and then to have your biggest star to pay it off, that's insane. And then him possibly being involved in the betting is even more crazy. But when you got that much money, bro, like, I mean, he ain't got a lot. He still got a bunch of money, and the rest of it's gonna be paid at the back end of his contract. But it's like, when you got that much money, bro, like, what do you have to do with it? Like, I can't even imagine having $10 million.
Right.
Like, I can't even imagine, like, what just sitting. Like, I don't have no bills. All my stuff is paid off. Like, my accountant handles all my bills. Like, I still got like $4 million in the bank. I wouldn't know what to do with that $4 million, but invest or something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a form of betting.
It is investment. It's definitely risk reward for sure. It's just a form of betting, but at the same time, like, you have more. You can, I guess, it's what bookies are for. But you have like investment, firms that give you sound advice on investments. Like with gambling, it's all risk. Gambling is all risk, unless you have somebody like a bookie to say, okay, you need to bet on this and da 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 da. But it's all, whenever you putting your money in somebody else's hands, it's always gambling. Always gambling. That's why I don't go to casinos, because it's always the house always wins. When you go to a bookie, they're gonna find a way to put more money in their pocket than they put in yours. Like, not doing it, bro. Sports betting, like, betting on live sports and, betting to see if LeBron gonna have over under 25 points tonight. Okay, I'll go for the under tonight because he's playing against this team. And if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. That's something different. But to get this deep in is insane. It's insane, dog.
I mean, again, not to put any negative onus on, onus is negative, but not to put any onus on people that do sports bet. And shout out to our dog Pineapple Picks. We got to get you on the show to talk about your platform in sports betting and how you can help individuals be better at sports betting. But I just think athletes should not be able to bet on sports. until they retire. That's just it's a
I
personal
tend to
belief
agree
of
with you.
mine. A lot of people will probably not agree with it. I really don't care. I just if it's something that like sports, and I don't want to. I do this all the time. I don't want to take this longer than it needs to be, but we look at sports. A lot of people look at sports and pay attention to sports more than their religion. You know what I mean? More than
That's true.
they pay attention to
That's
their
true.
kids even sometimes. But it's just it is what it is. Like sports is a religion in this country. And so if that's the case, we gotta hold it. If that's how we're gonna take it, we gotta hold it to a higher standard. We can't let any integrity fall in that. Because if we do, then what
All
do
is
we
lost.
have? What can we
Yep.
believe in?